Yep. How you doing? How am I doing? Boy, I'm happier than a puppy with two Peters pissing on a flat rock. I have no idea what that means. But ever since I heard it, I've been using it ever since. And I'm going to tell you what, the pastor hates it. Now, I don't tell him every Sunday. I don't. I like to keep him on his toes. So every now and then he'll be like, "Morning, nice to see you. How you doing? How's stress? Looking good?" And he say, "Oh, Lord Jesus." Yeah. Mr. Duquette, how you doing today? I said, "Pastor, I'm doing great. I'm happier than a puppy with two Peters pissing on a flat rock." He said, "Yeah, I know you are." Takes out his little pen. Continue to pray for the Duquette family. My name is Corey Duquette, but I do go by Cosmo and Dookie. I'm going to explain a little bit later. So, some of you know me, most of you don't. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 6'3.5". I used to be 6'5". I have levoscoliosis, 4 depleted discs, osteopenia and osteoarthritis in my spine. I've had 25 major operations. I've had every organ you can have removed from your body and still be able to function like a human being. I've had 8 surgeries between both of my knees, which have been replaced and been repaired twice. I had cancer for 5 years. I lost my dad a year ago, my stepmom 2 years ago. I was physically abused by my stepdad and once spent 2 years in a room with nothing but a box spring to sleep on. So I've been trying to lose some weight. And I'm telling you, I know some of you are going to come up after some and be like, "Is that real?" And I'm going to be like, "Shut up, you're not my real dad." No, but I do got to lose some weight though, especially for my knees and my back. I'm having some issues with that. But it's hard. It's hard because of my physical limitations and what I can do. I did try a children's little workout thing. There was a video I saw, and I figured I'd give it a shot. But boy, I tell you what, that next morning, I felt it in my head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So I was up late one night. It was about 3 o'clock, and it was an infomercial. And it's that same guy, you've all seen him. It's that fella with the eyebrows that look like sea urchins. And he was up there and he was talking about juicing. And this juicer, selling this juicer. And he was showing the before and after photos. And I thought, well, I'll be dipped. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to go ahead and get me one of them juicers. And he sold me on it. Said it was the best juicer ever made on the face of the planet. He said, if you order within the next 15 minutes and put in promo code FATASS, you can save 25%. I thought, well, hell, I am a fat ass. And I did. And I ordered it. And let me tell you, this is the God's honest truth. I'm not lying to you. That is the best juicer that they ever made. Makes the best root beer and peanut butter float you ever had. So Duquette. Yes. They were like, is that French? No, it's Taiwanese. Yes, it's French. So I'm originally from upstate New York. Now let me explain something. There's a state, okay? When you tell people I'm originally from New York, they automatically think city. Not from the city. I'm from upstate New York in a small town called Malone. And I bet you're wondering, well, how did this family from up north move down to Alabama? Well, I'm going to tell you a story, briefly. Tom Brokaw. Might be dating myself here a bit, so we know what Tom Brokaw is. National news. That's East Coast to West Coast. Comes on and said a tornado started in the small town of Joppa and ravaged through the city of Arab. And my dad was like, hey, that sounds like a good place to go, eh? That's going to be adventurous. Let's move down there. Boy, I was nervous as hell. I was nervous as hell. And because stereotypes do exist for a reason. Because there are some truth behind them. Now, the only thing I knew about the South is everything I learned from TV and movies. Okay? So I'm thinking to myself, it's like, okay, I'm fixing to be a junior in high school. I'm not going to have a problem making friends. I can make friends real easy, but I don't know how in the hell I'm going to get to school. is one, trying to learn the accent of Sand Mountainese. Because Sand Mountain has a different dialect in every area, and everybody's got their own little thing. That and people having trouble pronouncing my last name. Dookie. Now, you all know what charcoal is, right? What's another name for charcoal? Briquette. B-R-I-Q-U-E-T-T-E. Yep, people can say briquette. There's also an actor, John Larroquette. Y'all know him? Mm-hmm. Night Court. Dating myself again. L-A-R-R-O-Q-U-E-T-T-E. People can pronounce John Larroquette, briquette. But for some daggone reason, people down here, when you put two letters, a D and a U, in front of Q-U-E-T-T-E, people become dumber than two barrels of horse shit. Is there Mr. Duquetti? Is there Duquetti here? Or is there Duquette? I'm not lying. One time I went to the body shop and the guy come out, still can't figure this out. He come out there and he looked and he said, yeah, I'm looking for Mr. Duckweed. I want to give you Duquetti. Duckweed. That blew my mind. I couldn't figure it out. But I did notice something. The further south you got, the harder it was to pronounce my last name. So I think what people end up doing, and y'all might know this, you get a little bit further south, they're like, nope, we can't pronounce that. We're going to have to do something. So the Duquette said, well, hell, drop the Q, put in a K. Now we got Ducket. And there's Duckets. You go even further south, deep south, then all of a sudden they're like, well, we kind of like the way it originally sounded, but let's go ahead and change it up a bit. Let's go ahead and add an A, a G, and an H. And we got dog head. So you go Duquette, Ducket, dog head. Dog head. But I had a problem trying to understand the accent. I really did. When I first moved down here, I wasn't even down here about a month. Okay? And my next door neighbor come knocking on the door. Now I didn't know that there's a bartering system. This was new to me. It's not as popular now as it was back when I was a kid, but you could go to your next door neighbor. If you needed to borrow something, you could say, hey, can I borrow this? And they'll be sure. And if you wanted to return the favor later on, they'd come to you and say, hey, can I borrow this? Well, I didn't knock on the door. I opened up the door and it was my neighbor. He goes, hey, I'm named door neighbor, and my wife, she made a cake, she won't know she could borrow 2 eggs for her to make her better. So I stopped and I paused and I pretend like I just woke up. I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I was just taking a nap. Could you repeat that and throw in a syllable? Please. He shook his head, looked down. He said, I'm the next door neighbor. Okay, steps that. He said, my wife baking a cake, she needs to borrow 2 eggs. Finish up her baker. I just nodded. I shut the door. Opened the door back up. I looked at him, I said, give me 1 minute. Shut the door back. What the hell did he just say? I'm going through 5 minutes, going through my head, trying to figure out what he said. So I go to the backyard. What I didn't know then, what I know now, is what the gentleman was saying was, hello, I'm your next door neighbor. My wife is baking a cake. She would like to borrow 2 eggs to finish her batter. I didn't know what he had said that then. So I go out to the shed. I grabbed something, put it on my shoulder. I walk out, I set it down. He looked at me. He said, what the hell is that for? I said, well, didn't you say that you're my next door neighbor and you had to do some yard work and you needed to borrow a ladder? He sat there and shook his head. He looked me straight in the eyes and didn't miss a beat. Damn Yankees. And that's how he walked off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cosmo. Please go recognize.